If the only reason you decided to create a piece of content and hit post on that content was because you just saw it was a fun trend going around and not because it actually resonates with your audience, you're doing it wrong. Welcome back to the For Creators by Lily podcast, the space where we build, grow, and spill all of the truth in the creator world. So let's cut through the noise and get into the real stuff. If you're a creator or just creator curious, then you're in the right place. This is no fluff, just real strategy. And I'm your host, Lily, an Afro-Latina strategy girly, beauty content creator, and your go-to creative big sis. Because after 6 years, 600 plus brand deals, and a whole lot of trial and error, I have built my brand from scratch and secured campaigns with top tier companies, and I learned exactly what works and what's just nonsense. So this space is for the newbies, the seasoned creators, and everyone in between, because we talk about systems, trends, rates, burnout, and passion, because let me tell you, being a content creator is in fact a whole job. And it's time that we start treating it like one. You're going to get the tools, the strategy, and the unfiltered advice you actually need to move up in the industry with purpose. So grab your tea, open that Notes or Notion app, and let's get into it. Today, we are going to tap into your potential and build something you're proud of. Welcome back to For Creators by Lily. This is the space where we are going to stop second guessing and start growing. No fluff, all strategy. Happy Friday. If you're listening to this on the Friday that I'm posting it, hi. If not, hi. I hope your day's going great. Today is a Friday, which means that this is going to be one of my shorter episodes that I do. So on Wednesdays, we're going to get video. It's going to be the whole production, amazing, crazy. And on Fridays, it's going to be more of a quicker paced episode, but it's kind of going to pack a punch. And today's episode is for every creator that is chasing trends and wondering why their audience isn't sticking around. Because it's a common question, and it's something that I constantly see comments on other people's videos and other people's things asking about why. And I feel like nobody's really talking about it. So we're talking about using trends with intention, not desperation. And spoiler alert, going viral isn't a strategy. I'm going to say that for the people in the back. Going viral isn't a strategy. I know, crazy. Who would have thought? But before we get right into it, I really want to say thank you guys so much for all of the support I have seen with this podcast these last 2 weeks. I am so grateful for each and every one of you tuning in to listen, sending me comments and sending me DMs and, asking questions, like swiping up on my story. Like, it literally means the absolute world to me, truly. So I thank you so much. And please, if you have a question, if you want to see something, do not hesitate. Today's topic actually came from a very good friend of mine, Ocasio. Shout out to you. He basically asked me, how can creators tap in on trends but not make it feel gimmicky? And I thought, oh my gosh, this is amazing, because I feel like trend over strategy, like it's just such a hot topic. So I was like, you know what? We're going to talk about it. And we're talking about it. This is how to use trends without losing yourself, without making it feel gimmicky, without losing your entire perspective and your who and your why just to fit in, basically. So with that note, let's move on to the first chapter, and that is trend versus strategy. So to make this super simple and digestible, trend is equivalent to the format. So how you are delivering this piece of content, like what you're doing in the content. The strategy is the foundation of that content. So you need strategy behind the trend. You need to have a strong foundation for the format to be able to sit. Here is a really good example. If you build your house on sand, you can't be upset. You can't be shocked if it collapses, if it falls apart, because you built it on sand. And sand is not sturdy. If you use concrete and, you build your house on top of concrete, then you'll be good. Your house will stay standing. It will not falter. It won't collapse. And that's just something that you can kind of use to think about it in terms of trend is equal to format, strategy is foundation. If the only reason you decided to create a piece of content and hit post on that content was because you just saw it was a fun trend going around and not because it actually resonates with your audience. It won't actually, communicate whatever your why is to your audience and your community, then you're doing it wrong. That is not the way that you're supposed to do this if you're trying to build from a place, from intention, not desperation. And I think it's tricky because sometimes, I'll hop on a trend, but at the same time, it's like, okay, so I'm going to hop on this trend, but I'm not just going to copy and paste whatever it is that I had originally seen the trend. Because if the trend is going viral for beauty creators and you're a tech creator, you have to make it apply to your kind of audience, your kind of content. It's not a one size fits all. Think to yourself, is this post, is this trend helping me build the kind of audience that's going to come back tomorrow? And I get it. Not every piece of content has to be, crazy breakdowns, educational, whatever. But at the same time, you don't want the one video you're creating to be that video that just goes mega uber crazy viral and it's of your dog. And you're not a dog creator. You're not a pet creator. You're a beauty creator. And you don't want to feature, you don't want to turn into a pet creator. You just thought it was a cute picture but then that's the piece of content that goes crazy viral. And it's are you kidding me? But maybe if you would have said, put some on-screen text my dog is me when I'm trying to apply my mascara and my mouth is wide open and a fly flies in. I don't know, something stupid. It literally, you just have to figure out how to make it relate. You have to figure out how to get the trend to relate back to your strategy. You have to have that strong strategy foundation to be able to apply the trend. So with that being said, moving on to chapter 2, this is something that I've recently found and I'm implementing it in all of my content and I'm sharing it with you so that way you can do the same. And this is the 3 filter rule specifically for trends. So before you hop on a trend or before you hop on something that's kind of going viral, these are the questions I want you to ask yourself. And if you need to write these down, get your notepad out, get your Notion app, do whatever you got to do to get ready to write this down. But question number 1, does this align with my content pillars? So if your niche is skincare and you're hopping onto a food trend, why? If you didn't know, the algorithm has a very watchful eye on the content you're publishing. So if you're a beauty creator and all of a sudden you start creating tech content as a beauty creator, the tech content probably isn't going to perform as well. So the algorithm is going to think, oh, wait a minute, something's going on here. And it's going to mess entirely up what you've got going. Let's have a sidebar. Back in February, when I was on the Paula's Choice On the Rise brand trip, we went to New York. We got to have office hours with YouTube, literally a YouTube strategist analysis. He was in the know. He was able to tell me so much information. And basically what he said was the algorithm on YouTube is the people. It's the audience. There is no machine learnings, unlike, Instagram. I mean, there's a little bit of machine learnings, but mainly it's based off of your audience's reactions to your content. So he was like, if you're a beauty creator and all of a sudden you're trying to transition into a food creator, he's like, the content's not going to do good, so it's not going to try to push that content. And I was like, whoa, mind blown. I can go so much deeper into this if we want to hear this. If the trend you're trying to hop on isn't aligned within your content pillars, you shouldn't do it. Moving on to the second point, ask yourself this before you hop on a trend. Can I add value or flip it in my voice? So don't just follow the trend. Don't just copy and paste it. No, format jack it. That means take it and make it yours. Make it apply to you. Make it, as if you were kind of saying this and doing this, whatever it may be. So even if that's tweaking the trend just a little bit, that's okay. And the third question is, what's the long-term payoff? Is this going to actually bring in people who really care about your future content? Because remember, everything that you post, as long as you don't delete it, but even then it's still somewhere in your digital footprint, is on the internet. So I could make a post today and in 2 years that post could just for some random reason hit off and become, my most viral video. You just don't know. So you need to think about the long-term payoff. If this is something that you're, aligned with your future content self. Moving on to chapter 3, let's talk about why you're not going viral and why that's a good thing. I think we all always strive for virality, and I don't think we know why. I think we see it and we see the good parts, the followers or the engagement or the brand deals, the money. But it's when you really think about it, if you went absolute bat crazy viral tomorrow, if you were, I don't know, Alex Earl viral tomorrow, would your page be ready to convert? Would you be ready to take on that amount of massiveness? Is your content ready for that? Are you ready to be flooded with those comments and everything that comes with virality? Actually think about it. Put yourself in whoever that you idolize, whoever that you are absolutely obsessed with, infatuated with, think about them and put yourself in their shoes. Do you think your account is ready for that? Another thing to think about is going viral without structure, aka a digital one-night stand. So basically a one-hit wonder, If you're going viral just to go viral, just to hop on a trend, just to do something, then that video might do really well. It could do really great. You could get some followers from it. It might do great things for your account for like 2 days, a day. And then you post another video and maybe that video does decent as well. But if it's not about the same topic or it's not, in the same warehouse, people aren't going to care. They don't care. And then you'll have ghost followers or you'll just lose the same followers that you just got. You're not going to have that long-term success and growth that you're looking for if you're listening to this episode. And I know you're here for more than just that. And here's another thing. Real talk, you're probably not shadow banned. The algorithm doesn't just shadow ban accounts for no reason. If you're consistently posting, answering your comments, using and doing everything that they recommend to do, then you're not shadow banned. You're probably just misaligned in the content that you're creating. It's not hitting the way it needs to hit because you've either lost your why or your who, or you're inconsistent. And I can speak for myself with my other accounts. It's both of those things. Like I am misaligned and I'm inconsistent because you can't just post for 1 month and expect everything to be okay. No, it takes like months and maybe a year to work yourself up to, having success. Like I think about Monet McMichael. She created content, I think it was like 16 months or something like that before she actually went viral. And then it took her like a year and a half to actually get crazy viral and every video be a hit and the brand deals and all the stuff. And even through that, she still finished nursing school. Homegirl has a whole nursing degree. She's not using that right now because she's an influencer. She's a beauty creator. She's a lifestyle creator, but she still got that on the back burner just in case. That's one thing is that we don't always see the whole picture. Your social media in general is a highlights reel. And like, unless you have been in it and you stick to it and you are like in the thick of it, you just don't realize that, I feel like. So to summarize, chapter 3, if you went viral tomorrow, would you be ready? Would you be ready for that? Going viral without a structure is basically like a digital one-night stand and you're not shadow banned. You are just inconsistent or misaligned. Work on it. Don't expect to have amazing results within the first 6 months. Anyways, moving on to chapter 4, how to make trends work for you. You want to use trends as like a format. So the way that the trend is formatted, we touched on this in the beginning. You're using the trend just for the format, not for the actual, content that's in the trend. And you're not supposed to use it as a crutch or a quick win or, something that is not going to bring you that success that you are actually going to want. Okay, here's a perfect example. You're using, a trending audio, but you overlay your story, message, niche, twist, whatever it is, but it's yours, So you're still catching that trend. You're using the trending audio, but instead of using that, same text or doing the exact same thing that other people are doing in the video, you're adding your own spin to it. Okay, so here's another thing. If there's like 4 trends that are going on right now, you film all of them and you make them all yours. You don't have to post all of them all at the same time. In a weird way, trends are kind of always coming back, especially if it's an established trend, like propaganda I'm not falling for. Like you could say that in 2 months and people would still listen. Like it is what it is. So don't force them. If you don't have a trend, that you're posting a week, that's okay. You don't have to post a trend every single week. You don't have to do that. Just make it fit your goal. Make it you. Make it personable. Another way to make trends work for you is evergreen hooks inside of whatever trendy format. So that way your message still lands, but after the trend dies. So even if the trend really was a one-off trend and people really don't care and it was just whatever, at least that evergreen hook is still there. And the message is still going to land even though the trend is long gone and dead. Moving on to chapter 5, your Friday challenge. I want you to scroll for no more than 10 minutes max, like maximum. And if you come across 2 to 3 trends, I want you to save them and figure out how they're going to align with your content mission. I want you to reimagine one in your own voice. Film it in no more than 30 minutes. Honestly, it shouldn't take no more than 15 minutes. Don't obsess over it. But post it. Move on. Done. Your job is not to be trendy. It's to be trusted. And that trust is going to come from clarity. If you're trying to become a content creator, if you're trying to do this, full time, you're not just trendy all the time. Like you can still be trendy, but you want to be trusted as well. So there's a little fun Friday challenge I have for you. If you're listening to this, definitely go check out my socials and see what I did in my little trendy Friday challenge, just check out the video that I posted so that way you can see it and maybe get some inspo. All right, so to recap all of these chapters, chapter 1, we had trends versus strategy, and that is basically that strategy is a strong foundation and trend is the format you're applying to that foundation. Always, always, always think before you post something, even before you film something, is this the kind of content that your audience is going to want to come back for? Will they want to watch this next week as well? Chapter 2, the 3 filter rule. Does it align with my content pillars? Can I add value or flip it in my own voice? And what's the long-term payoff? Chapter 3, why you're not going viral and why that's a good thing. If you went viral tomorrow, would you be ready? The going viral after effect, basically like a one-night digital stand. And additionally, you're inconsistent and misaligned, and that might be the reason why your content isn't performing and you're not going viral the way that you want to. Chapter 4, how to make the trends work for you. So use trends as a format, again, not as a crutch. Batch the trends that fit your goal. And don't forget about evergreen hooks. And last but not least, chapter 5, the Friday challenge trend. Basically take 15 minutes and try to create a trending video that fits your voice, that's aligned with your content mission. So before you post that next trending video, ask yourself, am I building something that is going to make sense in a month from now, in a year from now, in 10 years from now? I always want you to think about your who and your why. Who is this content trying to reach? Who are you trying to get this to resonate with? And why? What is the reason behind it? What is the purpose? And that wraps up my Friday mini episode, kind of like a Friday reality check, just for the weekend, leave you with something to think about. If this hit, please, please, please share it with another creator who needs a little bit of a reality check, if you will. Well, you did it. If you made it to the end of this video, I see you and thank you. That means that you're showing up for yourself, and I'm so proud of you for that. Whether you're here to grow, pivot, or just feel a little less alone in this journey, I hope that you got what you needed today. And please, if this episode helped you in any way, send it to another creator who needs to hear this and share the love because we are all in this together. Go create something that you are proud of. And remember, your content is currency. I really love this. We're cutting through the noise. We're getting to the real stuff. No fluff. This is just strategy. So until next time, please stay creative, stay bold, stay you. Oh, I like that. And for my last words with you, remember, your content has power. Don't forget it. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.